Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's this time of the week that we like to say, Welcome to Eejits of the World! With you,
Glenn Wool and you,
Andrew Maxwell. And what a frightful array of clowns we have for you this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
We have the horrifying bums of Hollywood A-listers.
We have Russian reasonable facsimile people.
And we have the curse of the giant pumpkin.
Ooh. Go on.
I shall. Let us begin. Well, Mr. Glenn, are you ready for your first story of the week?
Yes, I am, Andrew.
Well, it's come all the way from Variety, the leading trade paper of Hollywood.
Yes, that's right.
What could have happened? Well, while making one of the Men in Black movies, can't remember which one,
Part 2.
probably part 2, Will Smith farted on set, and it was so horrific that they had to clear the studio for 3 hours.
3.
3 hours.
Oh, wow.
It was
That's not a fart.
I think it's
It's
more.
not a... something else has arrived with that. He may have thought he was bringing it into the world as a fart. But if it takes 3 hours to clear, something else has happened.
You think maybe there's a curse? He's got a hexed bum.
Well,
I've never heard of a fart having such potency.
no.
It was in an interview with the director.
It's one of these goddamn LA diets.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, some Santa Claritas. All I eat is fish intestines. That's how I keep so svelte.
That's what it is. I don't know if you've ever seen a fat fish. Not me. My gills are coming through nicely. Yeah, it probably is. Yeah, it'll be some sort of fad-based diet.
Yeah.
To clear a room. I've known a lot of stinkers in my time, but I've never known a fart to live for 3 hours like that.
I think if it was there for 3 hours, you would just assume it wasn't a fart.
I imagine I kind of assumed that there was a street urchin from the streets of Baghdad had happened across a cave full of treasure. It's what I would have assumed. And that said little barefoot scamp had, in a moment of just natural childlike curiosity, rubbed a dusty old lamp.
Yeah.
And a magic Hollywood fart had come now. Called Will Smith. Anyway, so it turns out it was in an interview. It seems extraordinary. I always assumed that we're only the only stupid grown-ups, but clearly everybody's at it, because this was the subject matter of a leading podcast on filmmaking. Barry Sonnenfeld was the director, and he said what had happened was him, Will Smith, and Tommy Lee Jones, okay?
Right.
They're shooting a scene where they're in a car that turns into a super duper space car and then can fly through space, right? And they're in.
And for some reason, all they have to eat in this scene is cabbage and popcorn.
It's just all cabbage, right? Just boiled cabbage, hours and hours of boiled cabbage.
The scene didn't even really fit into the movie.
No, it was a scene. It was one bit where the time machine accidentally went in reverse, and they went back to an Irish shanty town in Victorian Manhattan. Before they cleared the slums of Cherry Hill and turned it into a grand park. Didn't make the final cut. He said in the scene, right, that the two Hollywood stars are in a pod that had to be hermetically sealed to make it look like a spaceship. The minute they got it all the keys shut on it, sealed in, all they could hear from up in the actors' gallery was, "I'm so sorry, Tommy. I'm so sorry. You've got to let Tommy out. I'm so sorry, Tommy."
The last actor in the world you'd want to do that around.
Yeah, I can imagine Tommy Lee Jones being particularly keen on breathing another man's hoof.
No, he couldn't even be on set with Jim Carrey. He found him so annoying.
Really?
And that's just like a man's personality.
I mean, Jim Carrey's personality is a bit like a fart. It's really loud and good for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No. I tell you, I genuinely take by it. He's a comic hero. But nevertheless, I still wouldn't want to be, trapped in a lift with Ace Ventura for 5 hours of gurning and stretching. Yeah, so there you go. So that was it. They had to clear the entire set for 3 hours.
This is every one of his farts 3 hours. This guy's got Gandhi farts.
Gandhi farts.
Because
you mean Gandhi the movie farts?
Yeah.
Rather than
I'm not casting any aspersions here. It's not.
Gandhi was a vegetarian, ate a lot of lentils.
Oh,
I mean,
my
it's not
God.
unlikely.
And he wore he didn't wear regular pants.
No, he did not.
No,
he wore very fart friendly.
He wore like a sari.
He sure did.
Oh, it would just huff right out.
Probably wouldn't even know.
And it's Gandhi, so you can't say anything. You can't threaten him or anything.
Threatening Gandhi. Why are you Gandhi? Yeah.
You go outside if you need to do that, Sandals.
But the point being is everybody farts at some point. But, you can't. Don't fart in the spaceship.
Fart. Yeah, but I'm reckoning there's more to this story because I think maybe all his farts do last for 3 hours, and that might have been what happened at the Oscars.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he went to cross his legs or something, and he slipped. He hissed a greasy one out. And then
take my wife's fart out of your ass.
No, he just had to. He just had to make a ruckus and try and make it like an explanation why everyone around him looked so disgusted. So he just ran up and slapped Chris Rock. Had nothing to do. He didn't even know what Chris Rock had said. He was just trying to...
Just anything to cover.
Yeah.
You think that's the reason why his wife went bald? That's why she was so angry at him. That's some serious, powerful farting.
Oh, 3 hours.
People's hair falls out in clumps around you,
3
hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either can only speak of either the heinous potency of Will Smith's farts or the power of the unions in Hollywood. That's it, boys. We smell a stinker. We're out of here. Teamsters forming around the block.
Yeah.
Who farted? Which one of you farted?
They got to check the lapel mics. All right. It's going to be worse on one of these. The little line.
We'll see it. We'll see it. If you think the Teamsters don't have their own seismic fat equipment, then you
just get home, your neighbors signed a petition. Would you please sleep with your windows closed? It smells like a goddamn pulp mill around here. You know, you're rich enough to have a filtration system, but you can't just let those out into the neighborhood.
No. We don't mind fats. Fat's a working condition of a working man. People fat. But what this man did was too big to be considered a fat. This thing was at county-wide level. And if anybody knows about unions in America, we're local. There's localized fat and Local 48. Two of the loyal sons of Sicily, some of the best garbage collectors in the city. We're collecting garbage, not fatting.
Yeah, the garbage men noticed. God, it smells around here.
The fuck? Somebody collecting garbage after midday?
Boys, we gotta start picking these up earlier. We're even really lingering around here.
It's just fucking Will Smith. I'm telling you. But I think it is. I think what it is space travel and farting. You know what I mean? It's the reason why there's no Mexican NASA. Right? Mexicans had a choice about 50 years ago. Get involved because obviously it's the North American Space Agency.
Yeah.
It's technically America, Canada, and Mexico.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, Mexicans were offered the choice of getting involved, but they weren't willing to give up the burrito. I don't blame them. And somebody's going to go up there and do the science. You can stay down here and eat burritos.
Yeah. Yeah, because you'd have to travel outside the ship.
You fucking would.
Just have the space arm feeding you a burrito.
You reckon that's what propels them in spacewalks?
That's how we got to Mars.
That's the reason why they have that funny walk when they're on the moon.
Yeah. We're going to need extra heavy shoes for Pedro.
He's a hell of an astronaut. But not after lunch.
Yeah, he's a morning nut.
He's a morning nut. You name it. From 6 in the morning till midday, that guy's the best we got. Yeah. Afterwards, I'm sorry, Pedro, you're going to have to, on the spaceship, you're going to have to sit by the window.
Yeah, you start eating the canteen with the rest of the astronauts. You don't bring anything home. You don't bring anything for lunch that you brought from home.
Nope. just in the airlock for half the flight. Guys, when can I come in, man? Do the science. I'm here to do science. So immature. Anyway, I looked into it. Farting, it's natural and nobody should be ashamed. Will Smith should be ashamed of himself, but that's for hitting Chris Rock, the fucking prick.
He had to. He had to cover it up.
So the only thing that's going to cover these farts is an intergenerational stand-up talent.
It's a long ceremony. And if they'd had to stop the Oscars for 3 hours.
I don't know. He ruins things with his farts. He attacks brilliant comedians. I don't know, but honestly, Will Smith, the more I fucking hear about him, I don't even believe this fucker's actually from West Philadelphia. I don't think he was born and raised there at all. That's what I'm starting to fucking think.
Well, I think they should make a remake of that show, but Twisteroo, Will Smith's kids have to go live in Philadelphia.
Ooh, yeah. It's a short. It's gonna be the whole movie will be a YouTube short, 60 seconds of these two spoiled pricks dodging fucking bullets. Fucking hell, yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's Hollywood and Hollywood only for you, kids.
Yeah, Yeah, I think that's the place.
Don't even cross the mountains into the valley.
No.
They don't want you there either. Oh. Anyway, I looked into it in Nature. Do you know it's the most farty animal? They've registered. I mean, again, science, it's always moving forward.
Well, I mean, if you talk to the Green Party, they'll tell you the cows are the problem. But yeah, that's what they do.
So immature. The 100 years of should know better right in front of you, my friends. Yes, they blame, but that's not actually fart, it's belches. Because cows have got 6 stomachs.
Really?
And what they're actually doing is belching. They're burping.
And that's the problem?
Well, the problem is they fart out of their mouths. It's still a fart.
Don't kiss any cows, ladies and gentlemen.
Stop kissing cows, guys. We've now got a legit reason to stop snogging cows.
It's not going to stop me.
It's such pretty eyes. I can never tell whether they're black with white spots or white with black spots.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. No, when you do that, you got lovely eyes like that. Anyway, now when I tell you what the creature is the fartiest,
Sure.
you'll go, oh, yes, sea lions.
Wow.
I mean, they just look like. I mean, they're just, slumped on a rock, just lifting up a flap, letting it go.
Like wiggling themselves, like it would sort of,
they
like
do
a
that.
big one sort of quivers.
That's Will Smith got his tactic from. That's the only reason they're clapping in SeaWorld. Covering their farts. Yeah, it's because they have so much sulfurous food in their diet. They eat so many shellfish.
All right.
A lot of sulfur. They're going to break it down.
Is that what makes you fart?
It's one of the many things that'll make you fart.
I didn't know.
Cabbage in a spaceship will do it as well.
Yeah.
It's all part of the Irish space program. We'll get there.
Do you know there was I don't know if I've told this story before, but there was a guy that he tried to lose weight by having a cabbage soup diet. He ate cabbage soup for 2 weeks.
Right.
And he just didn't live in a big enough apartment to try and pull that off. And he actually asphyxiated himself by just ripping so many cabbage soup farts in his little apartment. And the lady downstairs, when the cops came, like, did anybody hear anything? She honestly said she assumed he'd gotten a job in the fabric trade. Because she just thought he was ripping fabric all day.
I just assumed he was in the fabric trade.
Yeah.
Just
Like all day.
wow.
Enough that somebody thought it was your job.
Just tear fabric apart with your hoop. Wow. And how did he die? Just
He asphyxiated himself. He didn't have enough. There was not enough oxygen in his.
Wow.
He farted to death.
that is like going back to what the atmosphere on Earth was like 4 billion years ago.
Let that be a lesson to anybody out there who wants to get a sea lion. Make sure you have a big enough backyard.
That's right.
Because you could die.
I think that's our message to you, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a sea lion and you want to take it in your time machine, be very careful about your settings.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, he could have gone, he could have just lit that one little candle on his birthday cake. That would have done it.
Yeah.
I would have done it too.
I think he was older than one.
I think the candle was for all the times you got laid in the last year.
He was trying trying to lose the weight. Cut the guy some slack.
Cabbage soup only diet. God.
Yeah.
Wow.
At what cost, though?
At what cost indeed? What cost indeed? Oh, the other disgusting fart story. This is there's a type of snake, a copperhead snake, that fights other snakes using its cloaca. That's as if snakes aren't disgusting enough. They've only got one hole that's for poos, wheeze, and sex. Called a cloaca.
Oh.
And what they'll do is when they see another snake coming, they don't want it, because they're, you know what I mean, they're so lethal up top,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, never get a blowjob from a snake.
Please, if you take just one thing from this podcast, right? Never get a blowjob from a thing that looks like it's looking for a blowjob.
You use a flute to charm that thing, sir.
Not that flute.
The skin flute snake charmers of America.
God, they were good, man. Never let into Canada, though. Never let in.
No, we wouldn't let them.
Says it's the skin flute snake charmers of America. It does sound like, a lot of cowbell in that band. A lot of cowbell.
It sounds like the side project that kept the good band together. Okay, well, it's a difficult second album, but gentlemen, anybody got any ideas? I'm stuck to this one, and I'm not going to back down. I think we call it the Skin Flute Snake Charmers of America.
That's right. And that was the moment that the keyboardist in Duran Duran walked out. Checked his hair in the mirror and left.
Yeah. Don't bother ringing, because that number's changed, guys.
About Duran Duran is they all promise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Girls on film. You know what I mean? Girls on film, Sexy.
Mr. Egg.
Well, that'll produce the farts.
Yeah.
Plenty of sulfur in the
chippy, if anybody's wondering what that reference was, there's a chippy in the middle of Birmingham called Mr. Egg.
Mr. Egg.
It's a late-night feeding establishment.
You want
it's
eggs?
Unclear why anybody would want that at midnight, but it's like a smiling egg waving at you.
You're drawn to them.
Yeah, it really is.
You're just
I've
like, wow.
eaten in there.
Of course.
But it's, yeah.
It'd be like, but it's weird that like the logo is an egg and the food is an egg. You know what I mean? Like a restaurant that's logo was a Santa and all the food was elves. Weird. But yeah, so these snakes, another one comes and they have a fart off. But they find a way that they can just get all this air up into their cloaca and they just aggressively fart at each other.
Is this part of the mating ritual?
Apparently it's just how they interact with each other. What for us would be, did you watch the sporting events of the weekend?
Around the old snake water cooler.
Exactly. Oh, you're a Seahawks fan. Oh, I didn't know Queen of the South had been beaten by our Broth in the Scottish Third Division. Thank you for... Thanks, Snakey. I would have absolutely known nothing about how the All-Ireland was going this year.
Yeah.
There you go. That's farts, celebrity farts.
Yeah. Sweet farts.
Sweet Jesus. These grown men talked about farts.
Yeah.
NASA, you see, science is what interests me, Mr. Glenn.
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Do you have a story for me, Mr. Glenn?
I do, and this comes from Russia. I don't know if you're aware that Russia's been up to some shenanigans lately.
Oh, it's pretty much relentless.
Yeah.
Snowdrifts and shenanigans with these people.
And it's come out that there's a Leonardo DiCaprio lookalike in Russia.
Yeah.
And he sadly has become... He's become a little overweight, so much so that he's lost his job and has now been sent to fight in the war.
Hang on, let me get straight. There was a Russian Leonardo DiCaprio looky-likey.
Yes.
He then got super fat.
Mm-hmm.
He no longer looks like Leonardo DiCaprio.
He looks like a fat Leonardo DiCaprio. It's worse.
But he still looks like a...
It's not enough. Like, nobody orders that.
No.
Like, that's for something else. Like, I need like a fat Leonardo DiCaprio to come over here. Does he do any tricks?
I'm looking for a fat Leonardo DiCaprio to satisfy my very specific need. To have somewhere to park my bicycle. I need the giant cheeks of a Hollywood looky-likey.
The rosy lump cheeks.
Not the skinny cheeks of a Russian man, but the plump cheeks of Hollywood, California. Somewhere I can park my...
Well, I thought like maybe it's a way of like propaganda to show that the sanctions aren't working. Look, even our Leonardo DiCaprios are fat. Okay.
You try to starve us, but look, once you add fat to that tiny face. Oh, great. I did see a headline about this guy during the week. Was it the tabloid in America, the New York Post, said in the story that he had gone from what was it, Thin Tanic to the Great Fatsby.
I tell you, Titanic would be a different movie if 2.0 had a role in it. There definitely wouldn't have been enough room on the log for him.
Oh dear! Somebody seems to pull the cord on that life raft real early.
It wasn't an iceberg that took the boat down. It's when he went out to the front of it with Kate Winslet. Just got the nose and dipped it. The whole thing flipped.
Oh God!
Like, and yeah, but just the fact that you can get sent to fight in a war.
Because you got fat.
Yeah, like is there whole battalions of fat lookalikes? All at the front? Is there a director that's putting on plays that are based on great movies? He has to call back to Moscow. Okay, I need a chubby Kevin Bacon.
That's really big.
Yeah.
We need a Tom Cruise, but too fat to get into fighter jet. That's how we will win in Top. It's in the third installment, very fat Tom Cruise, and it's called Top Bun. Big ice every day. Tom Cruise eats a big icy bun. And this is how we destroy America.
That's right. Well, you know, I was in Moscow once, and I was at the Red Square, and they have lookalikes there.
They do not.
They do. And, like, so you can get your picture taken, and the one that made me...
I bet every one of them's a war criminal.
Yes, and the one that made me laugh the most, it's ironic that this comes out, there's a fat Stalin. There's a fat Stalin at the Red Square, and you can tell he's just,
Yeah.
I guess he's just lived in Russia, and he looks like Stalin, and there's a kind of Russian that wants to buy that man a drink, and a bun, and then another drink, and he gets in, let's have another bun. He's just a really, really fat Stalin, and it's probably they could.
Well, he wasn't the thinnest man in the world.
No, but this guy is a fat Stalin. He's like it would be very offensive to a Ukrainian to see a Stalin that fat.
Right. I see. Yes, now I see how the fuck the disaster of the 1930s actually fucking went down.
Yeah.
Fat
now
Stalin.
we know where the wheat went.
All turned into ice bun.
And then Stalin just ate it in front of them.
Fucking hell. Fucking Russians. There isn't fat... If they're not keeping corpses alive in Red Square, there's fat Stalins wandering around.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Uncle Joe.
Yeah. Who called him Uncle Joe? Is that Russian?
I assume it was somebody trying not to get killed by Uncle Joe. Right?
Someone trying to convince him that he was his nephew.
I am your nephew. Look at my murderous eyes.
Where else could it have come from?
Look at my genuinely shark eyes, pitiless gaze.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, yes, I went down a lucky rabbit hole earlier of lucky people. There's the whole. I spent his website was just nothing, but he's nothing but people putting all their pictures of people times they thought they'd met a celebrity. It was just and this is like unprofessional looky-likeys, just actual doppelgangers.
Oh, okay.
Because that's the difference, you see. If you're professional, you're a looky-likey. If it's amateur, you're a doppelganger.
Oh.
Yeah?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a difference between, erotic dancer and just a man dancing unerotically. But people just reading into it. And there was so many. A lot of them were like... what's his name? Plays guitar. He's got red hair. He's English. He's huge. Huge club.
Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran. There's a lot of Ed Sheeran looky-likeys. But most of them, in all fairness, it was in and around a music festival. So I don't think the civilian who looked at that Ed Sheeran doppelganger in the context of a music festival, that's not out of context.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's fair enough.
Yeah.
But when I looked into it, there was just a shitload of fake Drakes.
Wow.
A lot of fake Drakes and an enormous amount of fake Zach Galifianakises.
Yeah.
There was loads and loads of...
Well, that's good. As long as it wasn't like a bunch of fake Kendrick Lamars and they had to fight like the Sharks and the Jets.
Just people demanding that they have some sort of a fucking rap battle. It's just two dudes. No actual kid.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes those look-alike people, it does go to their ego.
Yeah.
You know who you look like? Yes, I am aware. Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't do anything. You just look like someone.
Vaguely like him. One of the best ones I saw, and there was kind of, you can tell it was of a time, it's a couple of years back. There was what's his name? He was the cop who was the brother-in-law in, God, what's it called? The amazing TV show that was set in New Mexico. That's all about
Breaking
meth.
Bad.
Breaking Bad. The brother-in-law who's the cop.
Yeah.
Hank Schrader. Mm-hmm. Yeah? It was a bold, chubby man, right?
Yes, he was.
My God, there was a rash of people thinking they had met the actor who was Hank Schrader. I'm like,
I can't see that the people who look like him in real life, right down to the Hawaiian shirts, they use that for a lot of evil.
but also, like, what the fuck? Like, the man that is Hank Schrader, that actor, that him walking into any, Walmart on a given day must be like a fucking hall of mirrors for him. There's got to be 50 bald, fat, middle-aged white men everywhere.
Yeah, like they all don't get back to the right cars. There's like a WhatsApp group for wives who've got one. And they're like, has anybody taken Wayne home tonight? Because I got Charles.
Charles?
I need a Wayne. Does anybody have a Wayne?
The big problem is they both have the exact same blue Dodge Charger.
Yeah, they both support the same sports team. So I've had him over here for about a week now. He's not... He seems fine with the setup, but...
I had no idea it wasn't my one. I mean, his ass fitted perfectly into the Lazy Boy. He knew all the stupid shit about the Pittsburgh Steelers that...
Thankfully, we've been in separate rooms for about 14 years. So, I mean, if you want him, come get him. He can stay. It's not that much of a difference. I don't know. The only reason I realized it was someone different is that he spoke to me. I just about dropped my iced tea. Wayne, get a hold of yourself. Why are you talking?
Is it a stroke?
He spoke in my direction. He didn't.
Not even out of the side of his mouth. Are you having a double stroke, Wayne? But you're talking to me during playoff season.
He showed a genuine interest. That's not my Wayne. That is a doppelganger.
He just wandered into the kitchen with all his handsome, sexy talk. He just walked straight up to me and asked if we could have meatloaf.
He put his cup in the dishwasher.
Oh, God.
That's not my Wayne.
That's not Wayne. That's Dwayne. That was the moment I realized I had Dwayne. Oh, the best one though of all these people thinking they had found celebrities really cracked me up. There was a rash of, it was obviously the same man, but like there's a rash of British people on social media a couple of years back putting up pictures, and they're always, what I love about this weird world of fake looky-likeys, just real life doppelgangers, and people thinking in the real one is how happy the punters are.
Yeah.
They're so happy, right? There was just a rash of people thought they had met Morgan Freeman. All Brits thinking they had met Morgan Freeman, but they all thought they had met him in the same place, a late night disco bar in Magaluf. Right.
Please do not sit on Morgan's lap. We've had some issues. You can get a picture with him. That's fine. Don't sit on his lap.
Please, just lower the radio. Just the bar DJ. Just one more time. Go, please. So I will put on the Cheeky Girls as the next request. But just say one more time. The man you have encountered this evening is not Morgan Freeman. He's not a Hollywood star, Morgan Freeman. It's a totally different man called Morgan Fieldman. Morgan Fieldman is in the bar. Do not sit on his lap.
And if you can't see him, do not go in the ball pit. If you dare have eyes on Morgan Fieldman, that ball pit is not safe. We've fished him out of there a few times.
Sit on my lap.
I'd like to tell you that you fought the good fight. And Morgan Freeman left you alone. There's a lot of things I'd like to tell you.
Why am I here? In a disco bar in Magaloo. I was doing the voiceover for a car commercial. Classic Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
He's always got his excuses.
Yeah. Yeah. I always feel for...
But he's also, you've got to see this picture of Morgan Freeman, right? he's in one of those classic, oh shit, dad has taken the divorce in a really weird way.
Yeah.
He was in a bum bag.
Uh-oh.
He was in a tiny one of those singlets that's cut up, not only no sleeves, but it scoops really down the side. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're usually, bright green or bright, you know what I mean? And I had like the
Looks like it might inflate into something. If you put a nozzle up to the right thing, it sort of blows up.
If you blow into Morgan Freeman's Cleoca. My sexy seal t-shirt will be inflated.
But first, let's sit in each other's laps. You first. Then I'll do you.
So many people. So it was just say rabbit hole. There were so many people thought they had met fucking Morgan Freeman in a disco bar in Magaluf.
Well, it could be the perfect cover story. It's just after a night of goosing, he greases the DJs. You tell him Morgan Freeman's never been here. What would I be doing here?
Why would Morgan Freeman? Just 2 weeks of R&R. After playing God Stroke the President again.
Yeah, President God.
Dispensing wisdom. A man needs to dance to Wigfield Saturday night. I said to my agent, if I don't hear the Macarena.
I Googled Big British Fry-Up. And I simply had to try one.
I, as Morgan Freeman, only drinking English bars that have a giant but sun-faded picture of a breakfast beside the Premiership logo.
I saw an egg drenched in baked beans, and I thought to myself, who would do such a thing?
Why?
I was transfixed.
Why have you brought beans to my breakfast?
Morgan Freeman has promised never to leave a stone unturned.
Fucking so great. Oh well.
Yeah,
well,
I feel bad for lookalikes because sometimes they do look like somebody and they lean into it, and then then the stories come out.
Oh yes. You mean like Fat Stalin? If Fat Stalin had only retired after the first 5-year plan, as he hurtled the Soviet Union towards industrialization.
I have a feeling a few Jimmy Savile lookalikes had to stop smoking cigars right around the time.
England's leading Jimmy Savile impersonator just putting his first nicotine patch on. Just looking at himself in the mirror, just going, now then, now then.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say now then differently. Now then. Now then. That's how I'll say it when I go to the now. Then. Yeah, he lost his Leeds accent that he'd been talking with the last 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
You're from Winchester, buddy.
Oh, well. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Here's the lucky likeys. And, all we can say for you, whatever the Russian fella is, get captured by the Ukrainian government. You'll find that you'll be treated well. And probably be swapped in a prisoner swap for 4 lucky likeys. Because, the Ukrainians being Democrats, living in a fucking civilized world, like, they want to get their people back.
Yeah.
Not like the fucking Russians.
No.
They'd abandon a lucky likey in a potato field in a heartbeat.
Oh, yes.
They fucking
Only
would.
thing I like about them.
Right then, Mr. Glenn, are you ready for a final and seasonal story?
Oh, yes.
Well then, if you would, through the magic of science, I will click my through the magic of science, I will click my fingers and it's all getting seasonal in here.
All right.
Because it's Halloween, Mr. Glenn.
Pumpkins of the world, spice up your life.
How long have you had that in the... You've had that in the locker for a while, I can tell.
That's all that goes through my head, even when it's not Halloween.
Was it?
Yeah, I've been talking to some people about it, trying to get it out of there, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. You look terrified, though. I have no idea why is there a flex coming out of the side of your head?
I don't know, man. It's your hat. I don't.
Not my hat.
I don't travel with this.
It's only because you. Why is yours not erect?
Hey, I'm 50 years old.
50 Halloweens deep.
Yeah.
Ladies,
Just got back from Switzerland. The treatment didn't work, so my hat's a little flaccid.
Ladies, if you want Mr. Glenn's hat to stand on end, you're going to have to throw some more shit into the cauldron. Pop him out of the blue packet. Let him dissolve in the cauldron. Oh. So, Mr. Glenn, Halloween story. I've got a terrifying Halloween tale for you.
Okay.
Right? It turns out the pumpkin, right?
Yeah.
Scientists, the world of science, Mr. Glenn. It turns out they don't know how big pumpkins can grow to.
And somebody asked scientists this?
I suppose at a barbecue, maybe.
That hotline's not, that's for other scientists to ask us questions. You can't just get high and start calling it, John.
Science hotline. No, we don't know what happens after you die. No, they because every year Halloween they have, pumpkin contests. Mm-hmm. And every year the pumpkins are just getting bigger and bigger. And they just don't know, they don't know what, at this stage, they honestly don't know whether there's a top end to pumpkins.
Right.
Because they're all grown.
Just stop picking them and see.
No, these are all specially grown pumpkins. These are elite pumpkins.
Right. The SAS of the pumpkin
It's
world.
the SAS of the pumpkin world. That was the original plan in the siege of the Iranian embassy.
Yeah, I was rich.
It's got to throw a pumpkin in there, such. See what happens.
Every pumpkin I've ever met claims it must have been a million pumpkins there that day for the amount of pumpkins I. Oh, you were there too, were you?
Well, so very outside, who was SAS and who's the pumpkin? Everybody had a balaclava on. Yes, they don't know how big the pumpkins are getting.
Wow.
Seriously big. They've got the latest one. The world champion is presently. It was a pumpkin. And I've no idea why, but they called him Michael Jordan. No idea. Honestly, there's just no explanation in this story as why the world's biggest pumpkin is called Michael Jordan.
But is he going to stop being a pumpkin for a year and be an aubergine? He's attempting to be an aubergine.
He's just doing a season as an aubergine.
Today's climate, yes, you're an aubergine.
Yes, to be honest, it's any root vegetable. He's set his heart on the swede peat. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's awful. That's awful.
Well, who named him Michael Jordan?
I don't know. The person who grown the thing. This thing, the world's biggest pumpkin so far. It's every year they're going. It's exponential pumpkin growth. Wow. This pumpkin is the biggest one is 2,749 pounds of pumpkin.
That pumpkin married a feeder.
You better believe it. If this pumpkin was a dude, it would be on Oprah. Just cutting a wall out. Cutting a wall. Michael cleans himself with a stick on a rag. The pumpkin's the size of a car. There we go. That's how big pumpkins have got. And they're all now, all the arch rivals, all the top pumpkin growers, they're all swapping seeds with each other to maximise and they're all aiming for the 3,000 mark to grow a 3,000 pound pumpkin.
Cinderella better be careful about what pumpkin she turns into a carriage.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how she went to the dance in an RV. Never show up to a dance in an RV. It sets the wrong tone.
Right. Very presumptuous.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna let you pick their daughter up. What? My car? What's wrong with my car, sir?
Here's the orchid for your lucky lady. All you need to know is your little lady's coming home tonight.
Yeah, I'll have her back by 11. But I'm not going to leave it just gets in the RV. It rocks. 11 p.m. Ding dong.
I couldn't help notice, sir, that you've got a free parking area on your right outside your house. I would like to invite your young princess to come into my car where the table turns into a bed.
Yeah. And then at 11 brings her back to the door. Sir, could you please call me a taxi? I'm really drunk.
Yeah, that's pumpkins.
Wow.
And there's obviously now, it's like pumpkins are all over, they're all over the UK, they're all over Ireland. It's all about the pumpkin patch.
Were they not before?
No. Oh, sure. I'm going to tell you all about it, my friend.
All right.
It wasn't originally. Now you've got adults taking their kids the way you go see Santa.
Yeah.
In the grotto. You seeing kids being brought to a pumpkin patch.
Yeah.
Right. You being in North America. Except that we don't grow pumpkins in Ireland. So there's pumpkins that are just all over. There's always a rash of news stories around this week of some farmers set up a pick your pumpkin for kids, and there's just dudes that have bought like 100 pumpkins from a supermarket and thrown them around a muddy field.
Oh no. Where are these pumpkins coming in from if you can't grow them here?
Well, I'd imagine from North America. Or probably like all other food, it's probably just been grown in Holland in a shed.
Yeah. Yeah.
The shit came in, simple pumpkin. You're not going to leave until you're the size of a Dutchman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
they're all, what are they called? Dill's Atlantic Giant. They're Canadian. That's Canadian man.
It was a Canadian that made the great, Howard Dill, made the great breakthrough in pumpkin growing.
I know.
And all the mega
I'm not
pumpkins.
surprised by that.
There's not a lot to do in this province.
We're a land of large pumpkins.
Suppose you're wondering, Prince Edward Island became a province. The Great Pumpkin War.
So it's fall and you're up in Canada and you're like, are these people tiny or are those giant pumpkins they're standing beside? Get closer and find out.
Here. Come across the bridge, buddy.
Yeah, that's how we tricked Frenchie. That's how we won the country. It's okay, there are tiny people. Look at the pumpkins. We will keep this as our colony.
So
Fell for the old pumpkin trick, did you?
want to know where Anna Green Gables lived, did you? Inside the pumpkin. Anyway, the actual history of the reason why carved pumpkins make pumpkin faces is as in Ireland, traditionally we, and this is in my childhood, we used to carve turnips.
Oh my God.
Which I know, which don't grow as big,
No.
right? But if you think about it, like, I don't know if you've ever tried to carve a turnip compared to a pumpkin, like.
No, we
Well-
would never do such a thing.
Well, it takes a lot longer. You're a genuine psychopath if you carve a turnip.
Yeah.
Anybody can carve a pumpkin. It's just a smush in the middle. Not a turnip.
No.
A turnip's like a very angry potato. And that's
you
where
guys were thinking of leaving the EU?
never.
After you've been carving turnips in the 80s, you stay on that gravy train the rest of your life. That should be, if it ever goes to referendum again, just go, and remember, we were carving turnips at one point here.
Guys, lads, we got motorways and pumpkins. Anyway, true, right? So it's from a tradition. It goes way back in Irish folklore. You carve out the middle of the turnip, you put a candle inside, scary face as usual, in the window, ward off evil spirits. And he was called the Jack-o'-lantern. And there's a story of a man that not made it into heaven or hell and was cursed to walk the earth holding a lit turnip in front of him.
It's a really specific curse. And he doesn't seem to have done anything wrong.
No, that's
other
really-
than just played it right down the middle. So the lesson in that is either be really good or really bad. Because if not, you'd be rolling around with a turnip going, I know, it's a bit shit.
That's right. So either go trick or treat,
Yeah.
but not teat. No, it's genuine. And the reason why, but this is the best bit. I was reading about the reason why we carve pumpkins in America instead of turnips, because it was Irish immigrants in the Victorian period mass emigrated to America, right? And then it turned up, you know what I mean?
Turn up.
That was undelivered. They show up in America, the Irish turnip carvers, their first Halloween, and they went, "Where's the turnips? We want to carve them into jack-o'-lanterns." And Americans were like, "What about this?" And you can imagine, like, you've just survived the Great Famine, and next thing there's an opportunity to carve a giant orange face open. Guys, would you like to slash a spooky face into this giant orange head? Fuck aye. Happy Halloween. Yes. No more tiny wee Catholic turnips. In this land of plenty, they're giant Protestant heads.
Stab an orange man in the face. That's the whole reason I came.
It's sort of the reason why I was put on the boat. Kind of why I'm here now.
Yeah, it was a way of trying to find out who did it. little bit of detective work. All right. Which one looks the most like him? All right, he did it.
There you go. That's turnips for you.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what that's because I read about it. They're growing big. Like, they're not just growing big. You have to hand fertilize your own pumpkin.
Yeah.
I remember my mother caught me hand fertilizing my pumpkin once. Very awkward.
Particularly what with her people from Ween Ulster. I know. Just remember the old country. Your Ulster granny would have been like, none of this would have happened if it was still turnips.
We don't need to involve father, do we? No, we're not going to tell father.
Only because nobody knows how to hand seed a turnip. You're wild.
Are the turnips wild?
Turnips aren't wild. I don't know. I have honestly no idea what process.
So when did they turn up?
Honestly, sometimes I think did I just accidentally a black cat on the way into this recording?
Something happened in Switzerland. Glenn hasn't been the same since.
Let's just say there's something in the cauldron. Mm-hmm. There you go. So what we're saying is, kids, get out there. Challenge your neighbours to trick or treat. Adults, take those kids in their ridiculous little costumes around the neighbourhood. See where the pumpkin stroke turnip is at the window.
Yeah.
I would actually, as somebody who's at my childhood Halloween was turnips, I would go to the pumpkin houses first.
And if anybody goes to Will Smith's house and he says trick or treat, you take the treat. Do not, under any circumstances, come anywhere close to pulling his finger.
Do not get into Will Smith's fart pod.
Although it would be like, you would laugh. Like, you'd do a big fart in the doorway and then the kids would leave and you'd just be in your fart.
For the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
See the snow melting in the yard.
He got to keep all his candy. No, but people approached the door, but then, I think there's a gas leak in there or something.
I really want a new Will Smith cabbage. His Halloween cabbage.
Will Smith's Halloween cabbage. Roll up.
Paul Newman used to do sauces. Hey, that's where Will Smith's career is happening now. He's just hawking his cabbage.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this week's...
We appreciate it.
This week's Eejits of the World. We are on all your social media platforms, god damn it. We're there. If
Audio on Wednesday, visual on Saturday.
That's right.
And you look and listen on
comment.
intervals.
Comment.
Like it, tell your friends.
And all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And if you've got an elderly relative with an ear trumpet, just whisper into it.
Dress up
every Wednesday.
Dress up in a costume. Do it.
It's been a Pod People production.